what's going on, everybody? Welcome to the show. And I know once again I'm on a weird day. I can't say Andrew is, but normally I'd be on Tuesdays. But thankfully I got somebody here, and that is Andrew from Funnelheads to make this show a little bit more enticing and make it worth you coming on a different day. And again, I just shared this earlier today, a few hours ago. So for the few of you that are on right now, hopefully we get a bunch more. If you can hit that like button, I know a couple of you did already. We'll get this going. And I see just like that, we double in numbers that quick. That's great. So the doubling that just popped in, thanks for joining, everybody. We have Mike, the crazy-eyed cruiser, checked in first today, followed by Ken Lesko with the silver medal, and Sandy, the lost pirate Jenkins, comes in with the bronze. All right, so those were our first three. Thanks for checking in early. And we got Will G. Will G is a supporter of so many of our content creator friends out there. So, Will, good to see you here. Then we got Frankie Floyd, also another one, the Emerald Coast Cruiser, that is. Marianne is saying, hey, Brad, and hey, Marianne, thanks for coming by. We got Eric, the North Shore Traveler. He was just on with us last week. We were on. Roger Calkins was here last week as well. Not on the show, but in the comments. We got Mark Smith. We got Denise Gabany, and they're all saying hello and hello to all of you. So the show today, and, I know a lot of people are upset about this, particularly Platinum Cruisers. And Andrew and I have both done videos on this topic, and I was sharing with Andrew that I just watched his video, and he made some really great points. So if you haven't checked his video out on this topic, make sure you go do that. And several of you, maybe some of you, have already commented on the video that I put out recently, just a couple days ago. And Andrew and I are pretty much in line with our thinking on Carnival screwing this up twice. So we're going to talk about it today. And is there somebody to blame? Is there a person or persons that we can point a finger or fingers at? I don't know if we'll be correct, but we can guess. We can guess.
Point some fingers.
Yeah. And I don't know if they're here today, but I have a content creator shirt on, Carnival Cruise Addicts. If they check in a little later, they may not. Well, they may not be able to make it because, again, this is the weird day, Monday, not a Tuesday. But thank you for all of you. Cruising Chris Moss, I see, is here in the house. J&T Adventures as well. But Andrew, why don't you touch base and lead us into the topic a little bit more?
Like you said, we kind of, I think, from your comment section, I didn't get to watch your whole video yet, but I plan on it. But I was, watching some of it. I saw some of your comment section saying, that you were standing up for, everybody else, because it seemed like a lot of the content creators, especially the bigger ones, were kind of in favor of this program. And that's probably because a lot of them are Diamond, and, they're just happy that they're getting Diamond for life. And we kind of, even though we're both Diamond, as far as Carnival goes, we took it as, that's great and that's dandy, but they still tried to change it on us. And the reason why they backtracked is because of, everybody basically telling their voice of how, negative this is, and, just everything else. And it's not okay. I mean, just because they changed one group of people, which are the Diamonds, I feel that everybody else got the shaft, and I want to advocate for more change, and I think a lot of other people do as well, and I know you're in the same boat. So I know we've been talking about this kind of ad nauseum. We've both done several videos, short videos, several lives about it, but I think it is important. There's a lot of people that want to voice their opinion, and what better outlet than here. I mean, of course, sharing with Carnival and John Heald is important as well, but hopefully we can get some more changes, because the way the program sits now is just not okay.
Yeah, and you're speaking about those comments. Normally, when you put out an opinion piece, it's pretty. There's a lot of different takes. A lot of people have differing opinions, and I've never had a topic that I've talked about since I've started the Coach Cruise channel where more people were unanimous in their thinking that Carnival has screwed this up so bad. Granted, I mean, a lot of those people are, were diamond cruisers or platinum cruisers, and they realized that, they were going to have to earn their status, and then they flipped. And as Andrew pointed out, and we talked about last week as well, we both strongly believe that's because Carnival and everything that they've done has been about money lately and making it. So we strongly believe that their underlying numbers and their current bookings and their future bookings and things like that aren't as good, aren't near as good as what they had hoped, and that some of their competitors are, they're gaining momentum and welcoming some of you Carnival cruisers over and being like, hey, come check. We're glad you're here. We're happy to take care of you. We're going to make this a great cruise for you. And some of you have said, we love it. We love it more than Carnival. And, Carnival has already lost. I don't know if thousands is an accurate statement, but they've already lost people that would have been loyal to them. Mm-hmm. If Carnival would have just said from the start, oh yeah, no, I mean, everybody's going to stay, grandfathered, whatever. We might have to change a couple things up. We might have had to add a tier here, a tier there. Maybe not as many people would get priority boarding, but we would change this perk or whatever. Andrew, made another good point when we were talking off air, in his video as well. But it used to be a thing where, when you were about to turn platinum, and some of you all know this, all of you that have just turned platinum, or if you just turned diamond, or if you just turned gold, you were excited about, I'm going to turn gold. I'm going to get a gold card on this cruise, or I'm going to get a platinum card on this cruise. And, and then people would be asking questions. Well, what about if I don't hit my 75 days until the 5th day of the cruise? Do I still get a platinum card? I mean, people, would get all excited about it, ask questions. Do I still get the perks? Because, it was a big deal. And the thing about it was you earned those days. You had been on X number of cruises to get yourself to that point. And now it's so diminished because with this rewards program, it can just be bought. Mm-hmm. So where in the past you took out your card and people might say, "Ooh, you got a gray card. What's the gray card mean?" And it's like, "Oh, well, it just means I've taken a few cruises and blah blah blah." Or if you took out your diamond, not that you did it for vanity or anything like that, but people took pride. And Andrew and I were talking about it. It was kind of like you're loyal to a brand, if it was Coke or if it's Pepsi, or your favorite fast food place. Is it McDonald's? Is it Burger King? Is it Wendy's or whatever? You probably have one that you go to more often than the other. You're a little bit more loyal to that, and some may be exclusively loyal. For example, some people are big Coke drinkers and other people are big Pepsi drinkers. More people favor Coke, I think, but there are people that would prefer Pepsi over Coke, and that's just the way it is. So wanted to say hi to a couple more people that I haven't said hi to yet. I flashed on the screen, Cruising Chris Moss, Cheryl, Gussinger, Yoli is back in the house, and then look here, but we have Cruising Chris Moss. I think you need a beverage to start this conversation. Zoe needs a treat. Zoe, do you want a treat? Hop up here if you want a treat. Where are you at? She hides under my chair. Come on. There you go. All right. Cruising Chris Moss hooked you up. Give him a high five. High five, Chris. What do you say to him? Say it louder. Say it louder. Okay. Hopefully you heard that. Thank you. All right. And I, once again, have the Buffalo. Oh, wait. No. Especially with Yoli here. Because Andrew and Yoli gave me this bottle. And look, we're a shot a week, and we've worked through half of it already. So the first shot every week I've been doing, and I don't do more than this, just because it's 100 proof, and I want to be able to still somewhat understand myself by the end of the show, and hopefully you all still understand me. So, Bruce and Chris Moss, thank you for this. And Andrew and Yoli, they got to make sure I do my Whistle Pig 100 proof shot. Here we go. Wow. Also, carrying over from last week, we have Charlene, 1 through 13, Cruising Chris Moss, 14 through 30, JB, 31 through 35, the Texas Cruiser, 36 through 40, Angie, the Merry Mixer, 41 through 60, Trish and Bert, 61 through 70, and then Cruising Chris Moss has started us off this week. He is number 71 through 85. The winner last week was Adventures with Uncle Dave. We have the Traveling Gilberton. Carnival is a victim of their success, like a movie star that doesn't want to sign autographs. They forgot who got them there. I love that. That is well said. We got Mike Flowers here. I have 139 days, and I'll have 159 at the start of the new program. So yeah, at the start of the new program, you would only be 41 away from Diamond. And it just, well, let's talk about the value of the perks, Andrew, or the
lack of.
Why don't you touch on that a little bit?
Yeah, I mean, we've been talking about it, and I think we hit on it a little bit last week, but we just mentioned that there was a lack of perks, and not that it's amazing in its current stage, but I think that's exactly why Carnival doesn't understand why people are upset. I don't think anybody truly cares about what the program has in it, what we're getting. I mean, there are certain benefits that, like, for instance, my family love, like the free laundry. Rhett loves his little free $5 arcade credit, the drinks, whatever, like so on and so forth. I think the biggest thing that we're gonna miss is like the Diamond Brunch lunch, or the Platinum Diamond Past Guest Party. That's always a really fun time. But there's so much that has removed. Pretty much everything I just said has been removed from the program. And if you look at the current benefits, I don't have it pulled up in front of me, but it literally is just like 2 free drinks, I believe, bottle of water, priority depending on what kind of cruise it is, and a couple other really meaningless benefits. So I think it's more about, really, we were loyal to you and you decided not to be loyal to us, and it's just principle at this point. Like, yes, we're angry about them taking away some benefits and this and that, but it's the principle of it. And now they try to correct it, and they thought, oh, most people will be happy. Wrong.
Yeah, absolutely. And the thing about it is, and I know you're great about this, and I think most of our content creator fam is as well, is when you all give us comments, we try our best to respond to each and every one. And this most recent video I just released, it's been hundreds of comments, and I, at least until an hour or two ago, I think I had responded to every one, because I understand your frustration, and so many people responded on there. And I mean, there are so many great comments. I mean, I've read through them as like a fan of the people writing them, because they're so heartfelt, and they're so such great points that you make, that I'm thinking, like, if any Carnival executive were to read through just the comments of the people that are responding and just are so hurt, and some of them are hurt, some of them are frustrated, some of them are outright angry, but it's like 98% of the comments are just like, Carnival, like, how could you do this? We were loyal to you. We wanted to remain loyal to you. We had only cruised with Carnival. We had done all of these things for you. And then you can't even say, okay, yeah, we're going to let you stay platinum, or we're going to let you stay diamond. Well, they did now diamond, but and what are you giving? As Andrew just pointed out, you stripped away almost all the perks. All I mean, you stripped it all away, and so what you're left with of the meaningful perks is some laundry and being able to check in a little earlier for boarding. Those are the two most meaningful perks you have left. So, and then on top of that, and Andrew had said this, and I don't know if you want to touch on this after I mention it. But Andrew had said, what is their end game? What is their end game with this? And I don't want to steal your thunder, so you run off with that, Andrew.
No, I mean, it's fine. I don't understand. Like, I'm trying to think, like I said in my video, I ran a business for 10 plus years as a general manager, regional manager, and we were very involved in P&Ls and marketing to new customers and this and that. And like, the amount of money they're saving is so minuscule in the grand scheme of things. Like, yes, it adds up very quickly, like the little gifts and, the cocktail hour for the platinum diamond party and the lunch and this and that. Like, all of that, yes, it does. It adds up quickly. But at the end of the day, they still now have to get new guests to fill these ships. And like I said last week, they know going on as a brand new guest that Carnival's no longer loyal to its guests. So why are they going to keep going back on the same ship? They have no rhyme or reason to anymore. They'll go on, but then, hey, MSC has a better rate over here and a brand new ship, or Royal has, another brand new largest ship coming out, or Disney, look at this one, or whatever. Like, and there's so many cruise lines now. Margaritaville, actually, Beachcombers being announced tomorrow. So like, there's so much competition. It's no longer just Royal and Carnival. It is all of these other brands that you can pick and choose now. And what they did have was loyalty, and now they don't. And it's crazy to me. So I'm just thinking, what is their end game? Who are they trying to get as a new guest, as a customer, as a repeat person? Because it just doesn't make sense. They're just throwing all of that money and all of that loyalty out the window.
Yeah, exactly. And I mean, it's just it's mind-boggling almost that you have people have comfort. The people that were loyal to Carnival, they were comfortable with Carnival, and it's like, oh, this is what I know. Oh yeah, I've heard about Royal, I've heard about MSC, but I like Carnival, I enjoy Carnival. They give me a fair price, and yeah, I'm just going to stay with them. That was kind of the mentality of a lot of people. And now, because you've offended the heck out of so many people and just flat out angered and frustrated and got them questioning whether you care about them at all. And now they're just like, well, yeah, I'm either going to flat out leaving, or I'm at least going to check out these other lines. So let's say that you have an average cruiser that cruises 4 times every 2 years, where before you were getting all 4 of those cruises. Now, because you ticked them off and you got them saying, well, you know what, I'm going to look around, I'm going to just check and see and then, oh, I can get a really good deal here at MSC for this, and oh, I can do it, because you lost their loyalty, because you couldn't give them a free bag of laundry and let them check in a little earlier. You couldn't grant them that and say that you're going to stay platinum, you're going to stay diamond, or whatever. What the hell is wrong with you, Carnival? Like, that makes zero sense. Have somebody in Carnival, John Heald, whoever, have somebody come on and explain your thinking to help everybody understand why you've decided to destroy is probably a more accurate word, a loyal cruising base that you had that was just going to keep coming over and over and over. And here's the thing, and I said it in my video, stop. Don't wait 3 months. Don't wait till next month's report come in where you see cancellations are even higher now because you've doubled down on the offending of your largest loyal base, which is the platinum base, which you're so happy to share that there's just too many of you. There's just too many of you that are so loyal to us and have spent so much money that we can't help you out because there's too many of you. That is insulting and infuriating in itself. And even though, as you mentioned, we're both diamond, I'm insulted and infuriated for all the platinum people.
100%.
I think, Andrew, with you and I, many people have made the comments that they're upset with some larger channels and some channels that are travel agents and things like that, because I know one comment was something to the effect of they're drinking the Carnival Kool-Aid or whatever. I'll probably admit to this. If I was a travel agent, I would still say I was disappointed in Carnival, but I would probably have a lot softer edges than I do right now, because Carnival could probably say to some of those people that are travel agents, like, yeah, we're not going to let you sell our stuff anymore.
Yeah, no, 100%.
And so they're afraid. They're afraid to speak up more than Andrew and I can, because neither one of us are travel agents. So we can give a stronger opinion. But yeah, why don't you go from there, Andrew?
A thought just popped into my head, so I'm just going to say it. I would love if somebody was able to interview, was it Mickey Arison, he was basically the president up until I think 2010 or 2013, what his thoughts are on what they're trying to do with the loyalty program, because, him and his father, all that video that we used to see in the beginning of the Platinum Diamond Party that everyone loved, and you could clap when, you've been on one of the Carnival ships and they called us family, and, it literally starts with, Carnival is not, it's, your family basically. So I would love for somebody to pick his brain or have him, speak on this issue or where he thinks Carnival Cruise Line is headed. But I just don't know who's making the decisions. I did find out that there is a loyalty delivery manager position that was open about 10 days ago and was filled. So that was very interesting to me. Carnival had it posted, I believe, on LinkedIn, and it was Indeed, I think, or I don't know, one of those websites anyway. But I would love to know who that person is, because I'm sure they have a deep reach into that. But it does sound like Christine Duffy has taken full accountability of, these changes, and obviously she said in interviews and Q&As before that she's all for them and she's happy with the changes. And she doubled down, I think it was in July, when she sat with John Heald when they were announcing some of the new class ships, Project Ace, and the Festival and Carnival that are coming out. They basically touched on the new rewards program, and she was saying that they're sticking with it, and that people have a year to change, and get used to it, and basically eat rocks. So I mean, I do. Before this whole thing, I had a really good positive outlook for her, but now, after all these comments, it's like, well, or is that just, the stockholders and the board kind of, telling her how to do it? So who knows, but it is interesting, and I do wonder.
Yeah, I mean, I know she says that, and the thing about it is, I've made this comment before. If you give me a salary that has 2 commas in it, I'm going to say whatever the hell you want me to say. I'm going to be the biggest company man there is, and yes, and okay, yeah, you want me to say that? All right, I mean, yeah. I will say what other kind of crap and however stupid it is. I don't think Christine Duffy is an intelligent woman. She's not this stupid. She wouldn't say that this is a good idea, because I mean, there are very few people, I think, in the world that would be this stupid when they have this brand loyalty to just throw that all away. And if this was her call, then I think that the higher ups would be firing her. Yeah. I think whoever the idiot is, it's somebody above her that is kind of, I don't want to say she's on puppet strings or whatever, but she's basically being told, here's your orders, go deliver us to the people and say it's you that's saying it. I just envision somebody when they call the beards or the suits. I just envision somebody or a couple people having all this power, and they're such the mindset. One of these people that you can't
change.
suggest anything to them. You can't try to show them a different way. They're just right, and you have to, and if you question them at all, you're kind of in trouble, kind of thing. That's the only way I can logically kind of wrap my head around of how Carnival could be this stupid, that it's just one or two people. Because if it was a democratic thing where there was 10 or 12 of them saying, and they all had an equal voice, there's no way in hell 10 or 12 people sitting at a table would say, you know what, this is the way to go. This is what's going to help the company out. There's no way. There's just none. I mean, I would venture to say that 9 out of 10 people would say everything they're doing is just a horrible idea. But I don't know. I could be wrong. Maybe Christine Duffy is. I mean, if she wants to take it, I think she's smarter than that. I just find it hard to believe. But Mike says I cruise about 6 times a year on number 34 and started in September. Macrina, I'm 50 days to platinum and not a gambler. The new 3 times or 2 times points offers, and they typically cruise as lower or free rates. I can't even get a chance. Oh, that sucks. Yeah, I mean, that 2 and 3 time thing, I mean, I think everybody that wants to take advantage of that, they should be able to get that offer. And I saw somebody mention that they already have cruises booked, and it's like, why can't they get that 2 and 3 times, for cruises they already have booked? It seems like, I don't know. It's just, I think this is a last ditch effort by Carnival, who realize their bookings are so far down that they're trying to get as many new bookings as possible to make up for all the ones that were canceled or not booked because people are so upset with Carnival. That's just my thinking.
Well, yeah, and it's like I said, if you're gonna roll that out the 2 and 3 times, like, yeah, that's great, but offer it to everyone first of all, because that is totally unfair. I mean, I play in the casino. I know you play in the casino. I get a little bit of discounts here and there, nothing crazy, but I love the casino, and whoever plays in the casino, great for them. But at the same time, I mean, you have loyal people that maybe they don't like the casino, that they don't like the smoke issue, or whatever the case is. They want to, do their vacation their way, but they still have been loyal to Carnival forever, and now they're not getting those offers. And the other thing about those offers is, it's all winter months where their bookings are down anyway. So they're just trying to fill their ships at this point. And that's just one way to do it. And then the other thing I wanted to touch base on, but you can go first, but the hashtag Diamond Rush that I've been seeing some of Carnival's, crew and employees, try to insinuate to get people to, Diamond beforehand. But I mean, why reward Carnival by booking a whole bunch of cruises and spending all your PTO and all your money in order to do so? Just, I mean, that in my mind, that's just, rewarding negative behavior.
Yeah. Well, I mean, I can't blame. I had this former boss, and he's like, one of his sayings was, always remember who signs your paycheck or whatever. And, I think that's the case for a lot of these Carnival employees is, and I've actually done this for some of you, and obviously I'm not going to share who I've talked to or whatever. But I've talked to some Carnival employees, and they think this is just as stupid as you and I do.
Yeah.
They're mad about it. They're frustrated, but of course they can't say anything. They can't speak up. I mean, they obviously want to stay employed. They need that paycheck, whatever else like that. But off record, I would say, well, I mean, it's not like I go around polling Carnival crew or whatever. But of the ones that I know, I haven't had spoken to one yet. If the topic has come up that didn't think this was just the dumbest, idiotic thing that Carnival's ever done. So there's that. So, I mean, pretty much it's a unanimous thing across Carnival. And I did, speaking of the Diamond Dash that you were just talking about, Andrew, I did see Lee, who's now the fleet cruise director. And, I consider Lee a friend, and he's a great, one of the most genuine people But you know, he's a company guy, and I mean that's his job. His job is to, you know, get people that, you know, cruise on Carnival, keep them happy, and just post questions and videos. And he does that on his Facebook. And he posted one just the other day. So it said, "So how many of you are going to do the Diamond Dash, you know, and take advantage of this?" And I was really curious to see what the comments were. And I would say, I mean, first of all, so many people just love Lee.
Yeah.
So you go on to comments like this, and you know, most when Lee posts a general, you know, story or whatever, it's like 95% love, you know,
Oh,
just,
yeah.
but he did this Diamond Dash thing, and I would say it was about 60% of people that were pissed with Carnival, and I'm not doing this crap, and you know, they blah blah blah, and saying all the reasons why Carnival's not loyal and how loyal they've been and everything else like that. And then there was, you know, obviously there's a few people like, yeah, I'm gonna do it. I'm 21 days away, so you know I can. But it was very very mixed. There were so many people that, and Lehman responded to a couple people that said they're leaving Carnival forever, and he even said, like, you know, he was a good sport about it. He's like, hey, you know, I understand, you know, hope we see you out there in port or something like that. So you know, Lee's always trying to be a nice guy, and that kind of thing. But yeah, I mean, it's just you do, when you make big decisions like this, most good companies do focus groups and things like that, and to figure out how this is going to hit, like the type of reaction before they do a big ad campaign or whatever. They have small focus groups and they show them these ads and things like, well, what do you think about that? And you have small groups, and they'll have maybe 20 of these focus groups, and get opinions from, you know, all different, and then put those together. How could you not do that? Like, how you would have known this was going to be a disaster from the start.
Apparently, everybody in the focus group was Royal Caribbean lovers. They were like, "We're just gonna bomb this, so that way it's so negative."
Yeah, yeah, and it's just, and then the thing about it is, like, even if you forgive them, even if you give them a mulligan for the rewards program when it was first rolled out, even if you give them a mulligan for that, then you would think like, okay, everybody's entitled to screw up. Yeah, I mean, they didn't do as good as they should have, but then they come out and it's like, Platinum, I know we smacked you in the face before, but you know what? Turn the other cheek for us, will you? You know, let us get that other one so we can make it an even red on both sides. So, you know, I mean, it's just insulting them with, oh, here's 10,000 of 50,000 stars. And I did see that comment. Somebody was saying, you know, what wasn't it like 33,000 stars or something before? I don't even know. I didn't even look at it that closely, you know, when they first wrote it out. But
I'll tell you what, I was on the Valor on the transatlantic coming back from Barcelona when they released this, and I probably watched the video on it and reread the information like 10 times because I was like, there's no way this is it. I'm like, where is the rest of it? I'm missing something because this is awful. And I was just rereading it. I'm trying to explain it to Michelle. I'm like, this is it. There's no more information. I read everything from, you know, Christine Duffy, John Heald, all the Facebook posts. I was like, this is what they decided to do. And not even saying that, but John Heald has been saying that this program has going to be changing or updating for what, maybe 3 years now, something like that. At least two. I don't know if it's quite three, but it was a long time because I remember it was supposed to be released last year, the details. And anyway, I want to know what the original program was going to be before they decided to, you know, roll it this out, because apparently that one was really, really bad. It took them this long to come out with this.
yeah, yeah, exactly. Adventures with Uncle Dave is here, and Uncle Dave, I don't know if you see, but that looks awfully familiar to your next to what your comment is right there. So that was the last sticker that I could squeeze on here on my cup. You see, you got all the different content creators on here. So yeah, So, and Adventures with Uncle Dave was also the winner last week. Our cooler, and we are, let's see, we are 65 away from doing another drawing. Charlene, Chris Moss, JB, Texas Cruiser, Angie, Trish, and Bert, you are all in this current drawing coming up. And if we do get to 150 by the end of this show, we will do another drawing. Adventures with Uncle Dave says, I met Lee last week on Paradise. A really great guy. Yes, he is. He definitely is one of the best for sure. Kim says, oh, Tammy says, have we looked at Royals program? Why can't Carnival follow theirs? You know, I mean, people, before Carnival unveiled this, I was drinking the Carnival Kool-Aid because I thought they were going to surprise us in a better way than expected. And everybody told me, oh no, Carnival's cheap, they're greedy, they're not going to do anything, it's going to be bad. But nobody envisioned it being as bad as it was. I mean, it was just so bad. And the thing I thought is like, why wouldn't you if you're going to change the program, change it to where everybody's pointing the finger at you in a positive way, saying, why can't my cruise line be more like Carnival? You know, how come we're not getting, you know, this, or how come we're not getting that, or why is it so easy to earn specialty dining, or, you know, whatever. I mean, have it something that is really positive, that makes your cruise line be more of a desirable destination, that gets people from. Somebody made the comment earlier in the comments, like, who would ever leave their cruise line to go to Carnival? And I was like, that's a good question, especially now. Who would see what's going on at Carnival and say, yeah, that's where I want to go, where everybody's mad at them about them not being loyal, where, you know, there's some questionable things that happen, you know, in terms of fights and stuff like. Why would I want to leave my cruise line? And Carnival's just increasing that by keeping this plan the way it is. It doesn't make any sense. All right, we got Terry and Cheryl. We've been loyal for 15 years and just made platinum. There is no way we will be able to keep our status to make diamond. So we're going to try other cruise lines. And Terry and Cheryl, perfect examples of two people that we're going to keep going to Carnival over and over and over again. And if Carnival doesn't fix this, Terry and Cheryl are gone. I don't know if they're going to go to MSC, if they're going to go to Margaritaville, if they're going to go to Royal or whatever. But what's going to happen is they're going to go to one of these other cruise lines and they're going to be like, I like this. This is pretty good. You know what? And it's about the same cost as Carnival. And even if it's $100 more or whatever else like that, they make us feel special like Carnival used to do. Yeah. Let's stay going with them. And they have a loyalty program that's better than Carnival. Let's stay with them. And I mean, oh God, Carnival. It's like, I want to help you. I love Carnival. I love the crew, everything
Me
else.
Me too.
I want you guys to understand this. It's like, it's so frustrating that whoever these bigwigs are can't figure this out and can't just be like, okay, we've just been stupid for far too long. Let's just drop everything. And if we lose it, it seems like every decision they make is like, okay, how can we save this 22 cents here? You know, rather than worry about every little damn dime, which I mean, I know you want to be smart with your money and everything else like that, but it's not going to make or break the company. If you give just a little bit more than you intended or whatever, it's not going to make or break the company. And in fact, it's going to bring some goodwill to the company if you give just a little extra incentive that maybe you weren't thinking about doing. But they will come out again, because all of these platinum, if you look at the comments on your videos, on my videos, everybody is bolting. Everybody is racing to the door to get the hell away from Carnival. So Carnival is going to keep facing cancellations, keep facing decreased bookings. Then they're going to look at the purchase orders they have for all these new ships and be like, damn, we can't even fill the ships that we have now because all the people running for the exits. What are we going to do? So why are they waiting 3 months to make a decision to be like, oh, okay, yeah, we're going to fix it for diamonds? Why didn't you fix it for platinum? Fix it for everybody. Just say, you know what, we screwed up. You know, I mean, we might have to tweak a couple things, but this is what we're going to do. We're going to make this right. And just say you're sorry. Why can't people do that anymore? Why can't people say, I mean, if somebody says they're sorry to you and they mean it, it just like it melts me. Like I might be really mad at somebody, you know, but if they come to me and like, hey, I'm sorry, I totally screwed this up. My bad. I mean, I want to try to make this up. This is what I'm going to do, and I'm like, yeah, no, don't worry about it. It's cool. It's cool. I appreciate you. You know, apologize. I mean, yeah, we all make mistakes. It's good. You know, let's get back on a. Why can't they do that? They screwed up.
Ego.
Realize your mistake, and get back some of your goodwill that you used to have before you destroyed it.
All right. Yeah, all they have to do is, like you said, formal apology, and then do like a really heartfelt video of why Carnival is still family, and then roll out an idea, not anything finalized, but an idea of how they're going to better this program and why people should give them another chance, because that's where you're at. Like, we've waited 3 months, and during those 3 months they said they weren't going to change anything. Then they randomly come out and say, oh yeah, diamonds are forever and here's 10,000 stars. Does that make you feel any better? Nope, it certainly doesn't. And now we're probably not going to hear anything for another 3 months, you know, right before the program is supposed to come out. And that's probably when, you know, somebody or people are going to get fired, and then, you know, changes are going to happen because something's got to change. You know, bookings are going to be down. The prices are obviously going to have to come down in order to fill the ships. And so what did you really save in the long term? Nothing. You lost a whole lot for just some silly decisions.
Yeah. I mean, even like you just pointed out, I mean, even if they fix this, some of the damage has already been done. Some of the people are just like, you know what, I'm never coming back. You ruined it for me. You'll get some of the people back, certainly. And then there's going to be some people that are going to be like, okay, yeah, we'll still cruise with Carnival, but now we're cruising with other people too. So those exclusive bookings that were exclusively just Carnival, now those are going to be sprinkled, you know, here and with Carnival. Whereas before it was all Carnival. And Carnival did this to themselves. Edmund, Tim, and Cheryl are trying to hook you up. High five for them. What do you say? Yes.
And it's not like even Carnival is that inexpensive anymore. Carnival's whole thing in the past was, you know, they were family friendly, lower cost cruise line, right? But that's not really the case anymore unless you have casino offers. Then that brings obviously the price down way good. But if you're just paying, you know, with your loyalty number, rewards number now, you know, they're pretty high up there in regards to other cruise lines. I mean, I would say now definitely Margaritaville, but that's because they're trying to make a name for themselves. And then I would put MSC in that bracket as the, you know, least expensive options, but also good choices depending on the ship. So they really put themselves in a pickle. Like I said, it's no longer just Royal and Carnival. You've got all these different, you know, choices to pick. You have all, not even brands, but so many different ships and choices and home ports. And, you know, MSC is adding so much, and Margaritaville. And I mean, there's just too many choices nowadays.
Yeah, and Mandy says, Coach, I turned platinum in November. I wish I had my perks longer. And yeah, I mean, that's just, yeah, it's just frustrating for those people that they may have just turned platinum, or maybe, again, it's not even about just turning platinum or just turning diamond or whatever. It's just all of the cruises and everything. And you kept looking, and I'm sure everybody was just like I was, you know, like who's an avid cruiser. I remember after each cruise, you know, especially once I started getting closer to platinum or closer to diamond, I would look at my days and be like, ooh, okay, that I'm at, you know, 56 days. Okay, so I need 19 more. Okay, so 3 more 7-day cruises, and I'm there. And then I'm trying to figure out like, okay, I'm going to cruise here, so I'm going to turn platinum on this cruise at this time, and be excited about it or whatever. And that's the principle or whatever, I guess, behind it is you look forward to that and you took a little pride in that. And now because of this rewards program, they've diminished that because now people can just buy it and it's like, okay, you didn't earn that. You've been on 2 cruises and you're platinum, or you've been on 2 cruises and you're diamond just because you spent a lot of money or you're in the casino a lot. So I almost wish they would come up with some kind of a system that was a, you have your rewards card and then you have your regular ship card. I don't know.
Yeah,
something,
2 separate programs.
Something to show that the people that have been there, like, loyal, like, over time, and then something to show the people that are just spending the money, but I know they probably won't do that, but that might be something that would make the people that have been loyal for a long time, I think, feel a little bit special, but a little more special. Eric from North Shore Travelers, thank you, my friend. And Zoe, you got another treat waiting for you here, courtesy of our guy Eric from North Shore Travelers. High five for Eric. High five. Here, over here. High five. What do you say? All right. Hearty, thank you. Thank you for that, Eric. Appreciate you. And we are up to 110, so we were only 40 away from doing that drawing. Malcolm Ross says, my wife and I are platinum. We've canceled our cruises we had booked and now booked. Oh, wait. We've canceled our cruises we had booked and have now booked with Carnival. Did you mean with somebody else? Or maybe I'm misunderstanding that.
Well, this is going to be sad because this literally means nothing anymore. This is every single one of our sail and sign cards. As you see, there's a lot of them in here. Now, some of them are Margaritaville, Royal, and MSC, but most of this, I would say 93% of this is Carnival. We've kept every single one of our cards, every single pin, every single gift, every single thing that Carnival has given to us because we cherished it like we were family, and now this literally means nothing and kind of just makes me aggravated. So don't get me wrong, I still love Carnival. I will still cruise with them. I just hate what they're doing, and I hate the people that are making, hate's a strong word. I don't like what the people are doing that are in charge. I don't know who it is, but something's got to change and quick, because I don't want to see a company that I've loved my entire life go under, or even I just don't want them to lose a step, and they've already lost steps on several of their cruise lines, so it's just hard to see.
Well, and Malcolm, this is what he meant to say, which is why I was a little confused. We have canceled our cruises booked with Carnival and booked with MSC, and again, people are doing that. Maybe it's out of principle. I think a lot of it is out of principle. It's like a lot of people are saying to themselves, like, well, what's the point of staying with Carnival? Like, you're going to make me spend $30,000 over 2 years or whatever the dollar amount is going to be able to maintain keeping something that is so insignificant to begin with. Mm-hmm. Like, you're in terms of perks, what you're making me spend so much money for is some free laundry, and I get to board a little bit quicker than everybody else. That's what I'm spending my $25,000-$30,000 or whatever it is that it's going to cost to maintain that. And people are just like, no, that's insulting. Mm-hmm. I'm not going to do that. And I don't blame people for thinking that way. So yeah, Malcolm, I totally get it. And I know there's so many more people just like yourself that feel the exact same. Dan says Carnival's told us that we are family in the past. Unfortunately, that ended with this new greedy rewards program. Yep. Can't argue with that either. Mm-hmm. Definitely seems that way. To me, it's not what they give. It's like they're trying to push everyone away. Yeah. We love going on New Year's Eve cruises. We're booking with MSC for our next one. And Yoli and Andrew, we met on a Carnival cruise. I think we met on the Carnival Mardi Gras. And we've been on several Carnival cruises together. And and I mean, that's the other thing about this is, I would like Carnival to get this right because I primarily cruise Carnival. And yeah, I think the biggest reason why I've cruised Carnival is because I've gotten some great casino deals. And it's just like they haven't even made me want to look other places because I'm like, I love the crew. I have a good time. So why should I even look? Even if I can get it matched with somebody else, I like Carnival, I like the crew, everything else. We love the crew. So yeah, I'm just going to stay with that. And I know about the UR comp. I haven't cashed in on that. But now it's just raising so many questions in people's heads that otherwise would have been perfectly contented to keep cruising Carnival. But now they're like, yeah, no. Let's see here. MB Barnes, for me to stay platinum, I'll have to spend $25,000 to stay platinum under this crap rewards program. And yeah, that's insane. Like, who would do that? And Carnival knows this. So like, what? I think what it might have been is the rewards, right, Andrew? I don't know if you think like this, but like the money that you spend, you're probably going to get some decent rewards. I remember when the rewards program was rolled out, they said, oh, well, if you spend this much money, then it could earn this reward. And whatever the reward was, it was a pretty decent reward. I forget what it was, but I'm like, well, that would be better than a perk. That's a pretty solid reward right there. So like when the actual rewards program happens and people start spending money and they actually are getting some of this stuff, I think people are going to be happy about that. It's just you were so interested in the greed of getting people to do that you forgot about your loyal base. And then you tried to make them think that their loyalty status was so important that they were going to have to spend tens of thousands of dollars just to stay diamond or just to stay platinum. And then people are starting to look at it with common sense and say, like, wait a minute, you want me to spend, like this gentleman just said, you want me to spend $25,000 over 2 years and you're going to give me a couple bags of laundry and let me board a little earlier? Yeah. Whatever. Bye-bye. That's insulting, right? Mario Smith, stupidity of stating that you have too many platinum, so their solution to give 2 to 3 times. Yeah.
Exactly.
2 Huskies to go, said, well said, Andrew.
Thank you.
Matt from Australia. I remember this, Matt. I left a comment on one of your videos, and I do remember it, and you were referencing Australia because I didn't get many people from Australia commenting, so I do remember that. And yeah, you're absolutely right. Australian 25,000. And I forget how that compares with the American dollar, but it's pretty close, I believe. Ron, I can't believe they emulated an airline rewards. I hate when the airlines have done with their programs. Only business travelers can benefit. And yeah, somebody made that point. That was one of the 2% that I noticed in the comments. Somebody had said, oh, well, airlines can do it, so why shouldn't cruise lines be able to do it? Well, see, you're not going on a cruise line to get to your business meeting in New York. That's the way I look at it. Cruise lines are almost strictly for leisure, which I think makes the airlines and the cruise lines a completely different. I really feel like that's an apples to oranges comparison. What do you think, Andrew?
Yeah, I mean, I'm like, with airlines, as far as that goes, like, yeah, you might be taking an airline on vacation or whatever, and you may have an airline that you prefer, but at the end of the day, like, what's the real difference between this airplane and this brand and that brand? Maybe a free bag, maybe, but I think that's changing anyway. Maybe you like, the little bit of extra seat in, the room for the seat or whatever the case is. It might have some props, but at the end of the day, most of the time, the maximum you're going to spend on an airplane is, a few hours, unless you're doing, a long trip over the pond or whatnot. So you really can't compare. You're going on a cruise for at least 3 nights typically. Most people cruise, I would say, 5 to 7 nights on average at one time. So it's there's such a stark difference between, trying to compare those two entities.
Yeah, no, absolutely. And Terry and Cheryl say, Andrew, tell little man we said hi.
I
And
definitely will. Thank you so much.
speaking of little man, because I remember that this was one of his favorites, correct me if I'm wrong, but I am going on the Carnival Miracle, and I just found out who the cruise director was. And I believe it's one of his favorites, Frankie Portera.
Frankie. Oh, Frankie's the man. I talk to him all the time. Him and Rhett have a great relationship. They FaceTime every now and then, and
Oh,
anytime we go to Tampa, we try to stop and say hello if he's not on contract, of course.
yeah, yeah. Well, remind me when I go, and I'll definitely try to FaceTime with him, and you guys
Uh,
can get up there and we'll do a little chat or something.
He would
So,
love that. You should have saw him. When we went on the Pride, we knew he was going to be the cruise director. The whole night before we got onto the Pride, Rhett was basically up. He stayed up like 10 p.m. trying to get him to bed. He woke up at 2 a.m. and he scared us beyond belief. He whispers in Michelle's ear. He's like, oh, "I'm gonna see Frankie tomorrow." And then the whole ride to the cruise port, Frankie. So it's just amazing. So it's so cool how, especially like kids can, have those role models and just be, idolized cruise directors, but they treat them so well.
yeah, yeah, no, it's really cool, and I mean that is the Carnival experience for a lot of people. People fall in love with some of the cruise directors. People fall in love with some of the crew. Like I've become good friends with so many alchemists because I'm always hanging out at the alchemy bar. But then also, I'm friends with some people, in the bands.
Mm.
One in particular that I'll be going and seeing New Year's Eve. That I just love her, Amanda. She was the lead for Lady and the Vamps and the music director on the Carnival Magic. And then later, just by accident, I didn't even know I was going to see her. And then she was on the Carnival Jubilee last March when I went, and then
Oh,
found out she's going to be on the Venezia, which I'm doing New Year's Eve. So,
oh, nice.
yeah, super excited to be able to catch up with her. But just brilliant talents, and some people, that's the thing. Like you might become friends with somebody out of the blue, whether it's a bartender or maybe it's a musician or maybe it's the cruise director or whoever. But most of us that have been loyal to Carnival or Cruise Carnival a lot, we have really good stories about people within the crew that we've met and just really treasure. And then you get one of these clowns in a suit back at corporate offices screwing everything up and making
Mhm.
people question whether they want to not try some other when they like I said, we talk about that brand loyalty. You had it, Carnival, you had it, you no
Right.
longer have it because you've offended so many people that who knows if you'll ever be able to regain it. But what you could do is you could, as quickly as possible, get in that boardroom, lock the doors, and figure out something that's good. But before you release it to the public, get a focus group or several, get some consultants like myself or Andrew that'll say,
Mhm.
yeah, no, don't release this one. This one's going to get some heat. And the thing about it is like John Heald, when he released this most recent message, I don't think anybody's telling him. I know some of you are going to be upset, but that's what he says because he
Mhm.
knew, in regards to this 10,000 stars for the platinum, he knew people were going to be pissed. And he
No.
said, I realize that some of you, will be upset. And he put as much sugar on it as he could. But when you're trying to sell somebody a scoop of crap sprinkled with sugar, it's not going to go over well.
Mhm.
And then that's why he started with the platinums, then he got to the diamonds. Like, let me get the bad news out of the way first. Platinums, we're
Exactly.
not grandfathering you in. We're going to sprinkle a little sugar on your crap cone here and just enjoy that.
No.
But he did his best, but he knew it wouldn't fly.
Oh
And
yeah,
it,
no, he's so dialed in to the Carnival guest experience. I mean, he's been with Carnival forever, and he was with those senior heads that actually treated their guests like family and made that video and really thought that their guests were coming on board as, like, you know, a holiday stay. They were staying with their family. And so he gets it. I just, you know, and he's talked that he's, like you said, he sugarcoats everything a little bit, but he knows how bad this is, and that's why he wanted to be the main person that took the brunt, but also tried to take the feedback and try to deliver it to whoever the beards are or whoever's above him. And I think he honestly did that behind the scenes, because I just, you know, I've met him so many times, and, you know, even when I was little, so I know that he is looking out for, you know, the true loyal guests, but there's only so much one person can do, unfortunately.
Right. And I just, and Carnival is, I'm, what's your level of certainty that Carnival is going to come out again and retweak this? Mine is about 98.5%.
I mean, I'm up there as well, but I just feel like if they don't, I'm gonna just be even more upset, and not because of the program, but just because of how much damage that will cause at that point. So if they don't do that, then who knows, you know, what the next 2 3 years are going to look like. It's going to be, it would just be a sad day. So I'm really hoping that they can pull something together, apologize, tweak some things, and roll out a program that we actually want,
Yeah.
and not what Carnival, whoever the one person is on top, that wants. So.
Well, and that's just the thing that I would hope that they would do, is whoever, because I gotta believe it's just one or two magnificent idiots that are coming up with this plan, that are just looking at the dollars and cents and not looking at the people that give you those dollars. You know, I always use that expression, penny wise, dollar dumb. Carnival has been magnificent in being penny wise and magnificent in being dollar dumb when it comes to this plan. You know, the pennies that they're looking at saving, but those pennies that they've saved, they've cost themselves many, many dollars to save those few little bit of pennies by screwing over your loyal customers. And you're not going to get some of them back ever again. And you've already done that damage. It's just so stupid. So I hope when and the only reason, and I don't believe that they're going to retweak this because they feel like a, you know, warmth in their heart and they want to do the right thing. I'm 98.5% convinced that they're going to retweak this because they're going to continue to lose money. People are continuing to run, not walk toward the exits, sprint toward the exits to get away from Carnival, because they're still seething mad and frustrated. And even if they don't completely go out the door, they're at least, you know, looking at other places, booking other cruises. Even if they book a few with Carnival, maybe they would have booked all with Carnival before, and now they're only booking half. I mean, you've lost half your business there. Wow. So I think that's where Carnival's, that's the 98.5%, is they're like, we're losing too much money. We have to do something to make these people happy. What can we do? Yeah. When they do that, though, I just hope that they sit down some people that actually know, that have a finger on the pulse of the cruisers. Like, I don't call in Lee Mason, call in John Heald, call in some people that are actually, you know, spend time with these cruisers and talk with them and know their frustrations and know how they feel, and say, look, this is the latest plan. This is what we're thinking about doing, and actually listen to the people that are under your umbrella at Carnival, and listen to them. And then when they tell you no, that's going to piss people off, then don't do that.
Yeah.
Do that. And when you finally come up with a plan where, like, they're nodding their heads, you know, and then they're saying, you know what, that'll make people happy. That will really make people happy. If you do that, then do that one. And then then you won't have screwed it up this time. And I mean, stop being cheap, stop being greedy, and get it right.
Yeah, I mean, at the end of the day, you're not going to make everybody happy, but you can come up with a plan. I can come up with a plan that I think 90% of people will be very happy of. You move some things around, you add some levels, you get rid of things that weren't working or out of date, And you can provide value for something that doesn't even cost anything. Like, for example, all the pictures on most of the ships anyway are digital. Give people two free photos, one from formal night and one from maybe one of the stops that you're doing. That doesn't cost them hardly anything to do, and it's something
Yeah,
that people would absolutely love. I mean, the pictures are insanely priced, so even if you were only to get able to get one, I mean, one from each vacation means a lot. MSC does
yeah,
that. Why can't Carnival? So,
yeah,
um,
absolutely.
I did want to read. I think his name is Pickle. It's such a great comment. He said, "Just a few short years ago, Carnival was begging us to come back after COVID when they were in a lot of trouble. Who came back first? The loyal cruisers. This is how they thank us." And he hit it right on its head. I mean, I remember all the videos of not just John Heald, but a lot of the senior heads, a lot of the cruise directors, a lot of the crew that were just, begging us to come back to see their beautiful ships, and we did. We stepped up to the plate and we filled those ships as much as we could back then. Some of them you could only be filled to 30% or whatever it was. Such a crazy time, but people came back in droves, and every time it would get a little bit more filled and they'd raise the capacity a little bit more and people would show up. And exactly, this is how they repay us after that.
Right. And David makes a point that honestly, I'm somebody that invests in the stock market, and there's a thing called, options that you can get where you can basically pick a company. If you feel like their stock is going to go down, you can make that bet, so to
Mhm.
speak. Or if obviously you can pick stocks that you think are going to go up. So David is saying, all I can say is unload any Carnival stock that you have. I feel like I'm not sure this next quarter is going to really reflect how bad this has hurt Carnival. I think it's probably the quarter after that, because I feel like this quarter, when they share results and stuff, it's going to have most of the bookings were already done before they announced this
Mhm.
ridiculous rewards plan. I feel like it's the quarter after this one. So when they do that earnings report and future forecast after this one, I feel like that's when Carnival stock is really going to take a dive.
Yeah.
Um, I'm not giving anybody investment advice by any means, because I've made several blunders in terms of but that's just my own personal opinion. But yeah, I wouldn't feel very confident in my Carnival stock right now, so I don't blame David for thinking that. With all the people racing toward the exits, all the people that have told me they're leaving Carnival, it doesn't give me a lot of optimism about Carnival anytime soon. Richard says, I think everyone was prepared for a new tier, not this mess. Yeah. Rich
100%.
I think all of us content creators, we were talking about it. Some people are saying, oh, I think it's only going to be one tier, others two tiers, others three or more tiers. I mean, yeah, none of us, I mean, it was just so ridiculously bad, the crap that they came up with. I think it took everybody by surprise. Yeah. So, Yoli, we took 4 cruises during COVID. We feel used.
Mhm.
And I mean, a lot of people do. Will G, 16 of my 18 Carnival
Wow.
cruises have been since the restart. Wow. Okay. That's a lot of cruises too. And Adventures with Uncle Dave, my first 3 cruises after COVID were filled at 30%.
Mhm.
I enjoyed cruising during
Oh,
COVID.
it was the best. I would. And I don't wish that would come back, but I do miss that because it was so cool. It was like a ghost ship, especially at night, like 10 o'clock, 11 o'clock at night. You wouldn't run into ones. Well, that's a good video we need to do, is just talk about those days, and like we could bring up old video of those cruises, because what a wild ride that was.
Yeah. Yeah. And well, Terry and Cheryl, I mean, you guys are diamonds, so they've at least hooked Diamond up a little bit. But yeah, I mean, prior to that announcement last week, I mean, I don't blame you. If you're looking other places, and some people, even though they came back and hooked Diamond up with the Forever, some people are still offended that from the first announcement saying that, we were going to give you 6 years. Like that was just such the greatest thing. Like, we're going to give you 6 years because you're our most loyal. Yay. And then we're going to kick you to the curb, but you get an extra 4 years over everybody else. So we got Crazy Eyed Cruiser. I've lost more money gambling on stocks than gambling in the casino. Yeah, I've had a few bad stocks.
Me too.
Ryan Lloyd working on my MSC Oh, speaking of MSC status match, I keep hearing people talk about that. So I did it. I did it finally this week. I went on the MSC website and I had to take a picture of one of my more recent cruises. So I took a picture of my sail and sign card. I answered the questions, and I would say within 24 hours, they got back to me and said, "Hey, congratulations, you're diamond on us now." But there's another one above. So there's blue diamond, and then there's what, regular diamond?
So it's diamond and then blue diamond. Blue diamond just came into effect that maybe 6 months ago, definitely within the last year. But it's basically an extra level on top of that. I don't know that there's amazing benefits after diamond, but there are some interesting ones at regular diamond. Like I love the one where you can eat at a specialty restaurant free. Like each cruise, it's not just once. It's every cruise you go on, you can eat at one specialty dining, and that's so. Like me and Michelle are both diamond, so we both get one and a spouse. So basically, we eat at two specialty restaurants every single MSC cruise, and you get the free photos, you get a little free souvenir. So I'm sure there's a lot of other things, but those are the main ones that I can think of.
Well, Dan, I mean, I've taken the first step. He says, "Coach, please book a cruise with MSC and let us know the dates. Would love to do another bar crawl with you." So yeah, I'm getting closer. I mean, I have the status match now, so I want to get to the point where, and Andrew, I don't know if you're like this. I want to get to the point where some of these cruise lines are like watching these videos and just call us up and be like, "Hey, come on down, we're gonna set you up with a cruise or whatever." So Dan, if you know anybody in the MSC corporate buildings that can make that happen, tell them to call me, and I will be on that cruise faster than you think. Two Huskies to go says we'll have to look into that MSC. Yeah, the World America looks really, really cool. I would like to check that out. But look at this. I mean, this hour and now 12 minutes went so fast. And there's still 67 of you watching, which is
That's
amazing.
Awesome.
Yeah. And I hope everybody's hit the like. But do you want to? You got some other stuff you wanted to get off your chest, Andrew, or are you pretty much?
I mean, we can talk for a little bit more if you'd like. If you got to go, no problem. I mean, I do. If we are ending, I do want to just say that, like, we are trying to keep push Carnival into changes. We do the best we can, but we're smaller channels compared to some of the bigger ones. I do want to say that I do still absolutely love Carnival. I just don't like whoever decisions are being made. I will still cruise Carnival, as will my family, but it will be less. I mean, you've probably seen if you've been watching our channel. I mean, even before this whole mess of rewards and loyalty, we've been dabbling on other cruise lines, and that's just because we don't get casino offers, and so we do pay for each and every cruise. With Carnival, we do get a little bit of discounts here and there, but it's usually when we can't go because we're at school and we're working or whatnot. So for us, at the end of the day, it just comes down to cost and schedule. And if a ship goes to a new place that we haven't been, and it's a new ship that we haven't been on, or not new but new to us, I should say. So we're all over the board, but we will still sail with Carnival. We're just it's not going to be our main cruise line going forward. We're leaning more towards MSC and Royal at this point. Margaritaville, we had a lot of fun on the Islander specifically, so we are looking forward to the Beachcomber. But yeah, I just want to put it out there that we still appreciate Carnival as a company, but I don't like what they're currently doing, and if they can if they can change and issue maybe an apology to all their faithfuls and loyals, then hey, well, I'm very forgiving guy. I'm good.
Yeah, and I mean, even that in itself, and I've talked to a lot of people. Well, I haven't talked to a lot of people. I've seen a lot of comments that some are more angered than what you displayed right there. But I mean, I thought your comment right now was just really good. It was just, it was just a general disappointment. Like, like I'm disappointed in you, Carnival.
Mhm.
Like, I mean, I thought better of you than this. We really liked you, and you did this. Like, why? Like, I mean, was it greed? Was it money? Like, why? And again, I mean, nobody doesn't realize that Carnival is a business and they're in it to make money. What I think most of us with a grain of common sense don't understand is this business model that they're using, because anybody that and we talked off air about this, when I did freshman economics or whatever in high school. um you know you talk about not scaring away all your customers or whatever, and dollar cost averaging, and things like that, and everything that Carnival is doing, just to anybody with a grain of common sense, like, what the hell are you doing?
I just don't
what,
get it.
what
I
are
don't
you
understand. I
It's
mean,
just so stupid. There's nobody. And I know Andrew said Christine Duffy, raised her hand and said, I'm taking responsibility for this. Christine Duffy's not that stupid. She's just not. So you can believe her if you want when she says she's that stupid and she's owning this or whatever. She's just not that stupid. There's other people in play on this that are basically telling her to say that. And again, she's got a couple commas in her yearly paycheck or whatever. So I don't blame her for saying that. You want to put a couple commas in my salary, I'll say a lot of dumb shit, you know,
well,
what.
and she's done so good for Carnival for so many
Yeah.
years. I forget exactly when she came to be the president, but I know it was quite a long time ago at this point. And I mean, she's done great up until this point. So I mean, I'm leaning towards you that maybe there's some other entity above that is just stubborn, and that maybe didn't
Well,
even grow up going on cruises, or maybe never been on a cruise. Who knows?
I mean, I haven't talked to her, I haven't done an interview with her, but she doesn't strike me as the type of person that just digs their heels in, and it's like, I'm going to be right about this no matter what, and I'm going to argue with you about it. And she doesn't strike me as that person.
Hmm.
I mean, I know there's that type of person out there that even when they know they're wrong, they're still going to argue the point because they just need to be right or whatever. And I feel like whoever is making this call, if it's one or if it's two people that outweigh the majority that's trying to tell them, like, no, 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 don't do this. This is a bad idea. No, well, we're going to do it this way. This is what's
Yeah.
going to make the most money, and whatever. And then even those people now are seeing like, oh yeah, I mean, we're looking pretty stupid here. But okay, well, we'll just give it to Diamond. Tell Diamond they can have their forever thing, and that'll make them happy, and then we'll be good again. And then
Yeah.
we're seeing like, oh yeah, that didn't go over very well. What do we do now? Well, let's wait another 3 months till we see we've lost another 80,000 loyal customers, and then we'll do
Mhm.
something again. It's like, you know, be proactive, Carnival. Stop
Mhm.
being reactive. Stop reacting to all the money that you're losing, and be
Yeah.
proactive before you lose any more money, before you lose any more loyal customers, because you got a lot of new ships coming and you got to pay for them. And
Mhm.
once you paid for them and they're ready to, sail, you got to put people in them. So
Yeah.
stop scaring all your people away. um,
And they've
yeah.
got so much like, I know we've hit this on the head multiple times, but there's so much competition, not only with the brands and the ships, but there's so many new ships that are coming out, even in the next 5 years. I mean, and other companies are just killing it with these new ships, and some of the companies are building smaller new ships, which I think that's what people actually want. So Carnival's kind of on they're delayed in that aspect too, because they don't have the biggest ship. They're not going to have the biggest ship. And now everybody's like, yeah, the big ships are cool, but actually I want to be on a smaller ship. So people, other cruise lines have heard this feedback, and now they're starting to make newer small ships again. And I say small, but they're going to be obviously still very large, but small compared to, the Icon and the XL and Project Ace. But so they're very reactive in nature with that as well.
Well, Andrew, I'm guessing you know this. This is kind of off topic a little bit, but we were talking about MSC, and Bridget just messaged me, and she told me what MSC stands for, because when we had talked about it, I said, I don't know what it stands for. You know what MSC stands for?
I believe it's Marine Shipping Company, which is that's their primary, or something very close to that. It's that's
What?
their main business. It's not even cruising, so they have infinite pockets because they
Yeah,
get a lot of profit from that.
it might be that. She says it's Mediterranean Shipping Company.
Okay, it might be. Yeah, I knew it was something shipping company. So, but
So for
yeah,
those of
they.
you
I
out
mean,
there that didn't know what MSC stands for, see, you learned something on the Funnelheads and Coach Cruise show tonight.
but yeah, that's why they're coming so aggressively. They don't answer to investors. They're not a publicly traded, company. They do what they want. They've got hugely deep pockets, and they're buying private islands. They're making Little Key, which is right next to Ocean Key. They're coming in, Seattle. They've got a brand new terminal. They got a brand new terminal in Barcelona and Galveston. The Miami one just opened, brand new ship. Coming. Of course, World America's out, but they got the Atlantic coming out, and a couple more ships that are going to be premiering over in Europe that are brand new as well in the world class. So they're coming hard, and this is a bad time for Carnival because they status match. Their cruises are fairly inexpensive at this point, and they're drop dead gorgeous. So it's going to be interesting next few years to see how this all factors in.
Yeah, well, and the Dans of the world are asking me to book MSC, and if I get that status match and then I get a price match and everything, it's like I'm not gonna have any good reason to not try it out, and I kind of want to try it out anyway. So,
Well,
so
we'll be
maybe
back on. We'll be
maybe
back on the. Oops, sorry. Go ahead.
no, I was just gonna say maybe as early as next summer, because I am booked. For those people that are interested, I'm on the Miracle Thanksgiving, on the Venezia New Year's Eve. I'm on the Mardi Gras Spring Break, which is like March 22nd, somewhere around there. And I do have a cruise booked on the horizon sometime, I think around June 20th. And I'm in the Havana area. So those are my 4 cruises that I booked with Carnival, but I still have, that's the only cruise in the summer that I have booked. So I still have room to book at least 2 more cruises over the summer. So maybe one of those could be a MSC. Maybe one of them could be a Margaritaville. I mean, who knows? Maybe a Royal. Who knows? Maybe we'll sprinkle a few in there. But what were you going to say, Andrew?
I was just going to say, we're booked. We love the World America so much. We rebooked for April of next year. So we're going spring break. I forget the exact date. But if you're on Shipmate, you can see what date it is, or let me know and I'll let you know. But I think it's the second week of April there. Love that ship. Absolutely drop dead gorgeous. And then we're looking at the Seashore over the summer. We haven't booked it yet, but we're in the final stages to do that. But yeah, we love the MSC. Derek said he's going on the Seascape in a couple of weeks, and Seascape is a fantastic ship as well. A little bit different layout than what you would expect for a cruise ship, because the Lido deck is actually like their main pool is on the aft of the ship above, so it's very interesting. But the pool is amazing. I mean, it's like an Olympic pool broken off into like little areas. They've got like the robot arm. They've got a 3-deck high waterwork area that's all like pirate themed. So if you have kids, they're gonna love that. But a gorgeous ship as well.
Yeah, well, no, that's cool. And I mean, that would be the cool part for me, as obviously I've been on Carnival throughout pretty much the entire fleet, so I've pretty much seen all the ships, and I love them. But it would be a total new experience. It'd be almost like that new cruiser feel once once again, if I were to check out some of these other cruise lines and kind of see some stuff that I haven't seen, and just get a different taste of things. So I'd be very excited about that. So yeah, that definitely has me thinking. But we have gone almost 30 minutes over. But I think Andrew and I both felt obligated when there was still like 70 of you watching, but we're down to about 53 of you now. So a few of you are getting tired of us, I think. But thank you everybody for watching and chiming in on this topic. And I know it's a very hot topic for many of you, especially if you're platinum, but even if you're not, and like Andrew and I were both diamond, but it still upsets us on behalf of, all our fellow cruisers, and then all of the supporters like yourself that, that are platinum, or maybe you're gold or whatever, they cruise with Carnival, and, we hear you, and, we're kind of fighting that fight with you on behalf of you and with you, because we think it's bullshit too. So yeah. So, all right, everybody. We will see you next week. And next week, I'll be back on my normal Tuesday. I know, obviously, today is Monday, and I've been doing some Wednesdays and whatever. But yeah, we'll be back on a normal Tuesday next week, and we will see you then. All right, everybody. Peace. Happy cruise. We'll see y'all later. If I can end the stream here. And